Power 99, it's the Rise and Grind Morning Show. Now, we have a friend to the show. He actually used to work here. You might know him as Taz Daddy. But now he goes by the name of David Anderson. So welcome back, Taz.
It's good to be home.
Happy to have you back.
Thank you for having me.
So crazy part about Taz is I first met Taz when I was actually auditioning to be on Power 99.
Yes.
Remember that, Taz?
Yes, I was training my replacement, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I didn't know that at the time.
Not know that.
So it's crazy how life works, but Taz is such a good guy. I came in on a weekend and Taz ran my board because, I didn't work here yet, so I couldn't run my own board. Yeah. And I will never forget, you were so encouraging, Taz, and you really just made me feel really comfortable. And mother, to this day, don't I say that about Taz?
Yes.
And it's just so happy to see you. I didn't know at that point what was going to happen after.
Me neither.
I don't think any of us knew. But
no.
It's happy to see you. So update us on what's been going on since you've worked here.
Wow, man. I'm pretty much retired from radio. I speak about 40 weeks out of the year, different colleges, universities, businesses. I've written a few books. This is my 6th book and my first number 1 book in 3 countries.
Look at that.
So,
what countries?
America.
Okay.
Australia and India.
Let's clap it up for that. Listen.
I was like, for real?
You an author out here.
Look, man, I went to Martin Luther King High School. I grew up in West Oak Lane. I should not be number 1 in India, let alone Australia. Good eye, Mike.
Well, it's a testament to you work hard and you put your passion into what you want, what your dream is, and what you want to see for yourself, and it'll happen.
Absolutely. So I'm blessed, man. I have absolutely 0 complaints. I got married.
Yeah.
Nice. I have 2 children.
Congratulations.
It's just been absolutely amazing to be able to spend time with your family. You know? And people are like, what, you married? Yeah. You have kids? Yeah. By the same woman? Yes. What is this something anymore, new? Huh? So, there's that. And then, I own a few businesses. So, I'm good,
Local businesses?
Yes, local.
What are they?
Well, I own Interbrand Media, which is a marketing and branding firm. I also spend time with iBrand University, which is a division of Interbrand Media, where I teach people how to brand themselves, entrepreneurs. Like everybody on my jacket, most of these people are local. If they're not local, they're not too far from me.
Yeah.
And I teach them how to sell, how to brand themselves, how to create their digital footprint. So there's a lot of that happening, especially with Black-owned businesses. We don't get the same type of education that kids who go to business school get. So it's a matter of me taking what I've learned and applying it to people who don't necessarily have the means or the resources.
Okay. So this number 1 book is called Pitch, Close, Upsell, and Repeat. We will talk about it. If you have a business, if you're trying to get a job, if you're trying to learn how to sell yourself, Dave Anderson, we can't call you Taz Daddy anymore. Can we call you Taz Daddy?
Look, man, mother's known me for a better part of 15 years. You can call me Taz. You can call me Taz. I'm not like, oh, don't call me Taz. My name's David Anderson now. Like, that's always going to be my name. I can't run from it. But, professionally, like, would you buy a book about selling?
Absolutely that.
Taz Daddy only sold 100,000 copies. This book is sold about 5.
Right. So, the Rise and Grind Morning Show, Power 99. I mean to say what with Mother Knows. We have friend to the show, David Anderson, aka Taz Daddy here. He is the author of a number 1 bestseller. Give it up for that man right there. It's called Pitch, Close, Upsell, and Repeat. It is a guide to sales, right?
Yes,
David
indeed.
Here?
Absolutely.
And why should people go out and buy this book? Sell it, Taz.
All right, the bottom line is the book is number 1 in 3 countries because I did not waste a lot of time. If you read a lot of sales books, they're covered in sales jargon and nonsense and fluff and BS. I cut all of that out. I gave you actual pitches that I've used in every job. So like for the past 5 years, I did a lot of research. I've sold websites. I've sold gutters. I've sold home security systems. I've sold food. I've sold water on Roosevelt Boulevard.
Right now.
Just to make sure I understood what I was doing. I did door-to-door sales the whole 9 because there's a process that needs to happen. And what happens is if you're not communicating and you don't know how to communicate effectively, then what winds up happening is you're losing business. And then you don't get return business. So you're worried about trying to get a customer and then you can't keep a customer, or you're worried about how good your customer service is, but you have no funnel into bringing them in. And a lot of Black businesses don't advertise because they're afraid, or they'll come to a radio station. The radio station will shove a package down their throat that doesn't necessarily align to their needs. And so you buy this book so that you can become that salesperson, that you can be able to coach yourself and go through a guide. And literally, I promise you, if you read it in the morning when you're on the toilet twice, you'll be done with the book, and then you'll go back and use it as a reference guide.
That's
2 toilet reads. That's what I did. No fluff, no long. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. I gave you a manual. So that's why this book is selling, because I didn't do all the fancy dancy, Harvard School of Business nonsense. I literally got down to the meat of what is going to make you money and keep you working for yourself.
So if you're trying to get a job right now, you have to be a salesperson, right? Because you have to sell yourself to that company. If you're trying to grow your business, you have to be a salesperson because you have to sell your business to someone else.
Absolutely.
How long does someone have to pitch something to someone about why their product is good?
You probably have about 20 seconds if you're lucky.
20 seconds.
20 seconds.
That's it.
People judge you within the first 10 seconds of seeing you. So you've got 10 seconds to really get in there and do something. The days of the elevator pitch are over with. Shark Tank has made the situation really, really condensed. The Profit has made the situation really, really condensed. People are smarter, and so now they're trying to get to a place where they can actually just get in and get down to brass tacks, because people are giving better quality stuff. So you can't necessarily come and say, hey, I'm great because I went to this school. That doesn't matter anymore. Can you deliver?
I want you to talk about why do you think taking any job is stupid? Because today we all know it's hard out here to find a job, and sometimes you have to take these small jobs before you can get to the big job.
Okay.
So please tell us.
Here's the thing, right? You can't just take any job. When you take a job, it has to be something that's going to be able to sooner or later fuel your passion or move your agenda. There's going to come a time when Mother Knows and Me to Say What are going to do things beyond this radio station. So you're communicating, you're making contacts, you're doing things. You're in line with what your path is. But if you're working at McDonald's and your dream is to be a mechanic, that's just taking a dumb job. A lot of times we'll do things that don't make sense to what it is we really want to do, and we wonder why we're miserable. 80% of the heart attacks happen in this country on Monday morning between 6 o'clock and 9, because most people are not doing what it is that they want to do, or they're not on the path that they want to do. To put that another way, Les Brown says what happens is you get up in the morning, the heart tells you don't want to go to that job, and it attacks you because you didn't listen.
Damn.
So, I'm sorry. Not to mention, how many times, here's another statistic. 60% of people, from the time that they get their first job to the time they retire, are never asking for a raise because they're too afraid.
So you're saying ask for more raises?
I would say get out of the job what you need to get out of the job and create your own business, create your own economy. I've been fired probably 5 times. I got fired from this lovely establishment.
Right.
But it woke me up. And now no one can fire me again.
I want to talk about the 20-second pitch because I want to hear what that sounds like, because that's hard to do. And we'll talk about, getting raises and taking proper jobs. Power 99, the Rising Grind Morning Show. Amina Say What with Mother Knows. We have a friend to the show, David Anderson. He's right here from West Oak Lane. He has a #1 bestseller. Let's clap it up for that.
In 3
Absolutely.
countries.
In 3 countries. It's called Pitch, Close, Upsell, Repeat. He is a sales guy that actually used to work here.
Absolutely.
So I want to talk about this whole theory of 60 seconds. We talked about a little bit about how long you have before you can sell yourself either to your boss or to a potential employer or your business to a potential customer. You said you have 20 seconds.
Absolutely.
What should you be saying in 20 seconds?
Okay, now a couple of things you have to understand. You have to introduce yourself. That's already spotted, so you don't count that. So if it were me and I was trying to pitch myself, for example, I'd say, hi, my name is David Anderson. I'm a graduate of Temple University, and I'm a salesperson. I'm a great salesperson. I've made $1.3 million for Nutrisystem in 6 months. I have been the #1 salesperson at ADT. On top of that, I helped revamp the way that iHeartMedia now does social media, and now it's going even further. So I'm the person you need to hire. If you don't want to hire me, you're going to regret it sooner or later.
20 seconds. Did you time him, Mother?
No.
Was that good? That's good.
Yeah.
So you should include what you've done.
Absolutely.
The results that you can give.
Absolutely.
And then what should you have on hand at all times if you're trying to pitch yourself or your business?
You want to do something that's different. When I would audition for different jobs or try to get different jobs, I've sent pizzas to people with my package in plastic. Right now, what you should have at all times is a flash drive, a bunch of them, and you can get them really cheap. And on that flash drive, you should have your resume, a picture of yourself, really stellar references, and what I call the hot sheet. The hot sheet is your highlights of the things that you've done, what monsters you've killed, and when I say that, I mean the things that you've accomplished that are monumental, that'll set you apart from everybody else. If you have that on you at all times, you can give that to somebody. They can look at it at their leisure. Most people are walking around with paper resumes. You can't carry that, but you can carry a flash drive, and you'll be more apt to look at it. And even if they don't hire you, they'll remember you, and they'll have something that they can use. So 9 times out of 10, they'll look at it.
Let me ask about business cards, because I know a lot of people don't even carry them anymore. I mean, people are on their cell phones every day. How do you feel about actually carrying a business card? Should you still do that?
You should still do that. You should still have it, but you also need to be prepared and have your phone open to the contacts so that you can get that information. You do both. Absolutely. I have business cards right now.
Okay.
You've worked with some of the best in radio.
Absolutely.
Ricky Smiley, Wendy Williams.
Yes.
What valuable lessons have you learned from Ricky and Wendy?
Okay, I'll start with Wendy. Wendy Williams lovingly fired me from Power 99 the first time I got fired.
Damn.
No. Let me explain this. Wendy Williams sat where you're sitting and said to me, "You are hungry. You don't need to be here. Nobody's leaving. Kobe Cole wasn't going nowhere. You know, Mikey Dredd was stacking T-shirts in his dreads were to here. So
yeah, he was on the promo team.
Yeah, he was on the promo team. So there was no room for me to go anywhere. So she said, "You need to go." And I'm doing this because I went to the U.S. Virgin Islands and worked for $25 a week. And I see in you what I saw in me. Next time I see you, you'll be somebody. The next time I saw her, she was coming into my studio as I was the executive producer of Ricky Smiley's morning show.
Nice.
How you doing?
How you doing?
She ran her own board, Wendy?
No,
right?
No,
Oh, okay.
no. Those days were over.
Yeah, I was just
By the time I got Wendy did not run her own board.
okay.
And
I
what's
was
so
gonna
crazy is that a lot of people don't know that you're responsible for Ricky Smiley syndication.
Yep, they like to try and erase that part from history, but you can't. I got the awards to prove it. But with Ricky, I learned a couple of things. Number one, you have to be willing to do what other people won't do. Number two, you have to take responsibility for your shortcomings. You know, there were certain things that I was just a little too ahead of the curve with the last time I was here that now as an adult, and I'm almost pushing 40 at this point, I know what I should have done differently.
Okay.
I will say this, the one thing that I've learned from Ricky above all else is know your audience and understand where you are in the world and where you want to be. You know, and he was very good at knowing where he was. Like if he was doing a show with Steve Harvey, he wouldn't do a headliner set. He would do a middle set because you don't want to try and outshine your headliner. So you got to understand you're playing your position. It's chess, not checkers.
Right.
You know, which is extremely important. We don't do that. We all want to go, here, look at me, I'm great. Instead of, you know, taking your time, staying in the background a little bit, and then striking at the right moment. We want to start hitting everybody with body blows out of the door, and you can't do that. You know, so those were incredible lessons. When I put DJ Clue's syndicated weekend show in 2005 in 80 markets, you know, I learned from Clue that he is a very quiet guy. He's about his business. He's concentrated. He doesn't want to deal with the headaches. So I would handle those headaches.
Okay.
You know, and that's the things that you have to understand. You have to know who you're dealing with and what they want. And the main thing that any employer, any customer, any person that you're dealing with in business wants is for you to solve a problem. If you solve a problem, you've sold. If you've had consensual sex, you've sold.
Hey.
So don't act like you're not a salesperson. If you hate salespeople, it's because you hate shady salespeople. Salespeople make the world go round. Bottom line.
They had passed up on a job in their field because it didn't pay enough. So you're saying take the job that doesn't pay enough and then work towards getting something more in line with what you want.
My first producer gig happened in Philly across the street. And that happened because I was sitting in a position where I was getting coffee and donuts, but I was still producing the show when this guy was off. This guy was doing some corrupt stuff. They fired him. I got that gig. Because I was there, I already knew the format of the show, the talent was comfortable with me. Sometimes it's not about where you start, it's how you finish. And once you get in there and you outwork everybody, so you can be talented. There have been plenty of talented people come through these doors, just these doors.
Yeah.
But when you actually are able to outwork everybody, they're going to keep you.
Talk about it. So we were talking about 20 seconds. People need to pitch themselves and their business in 20 seconds. You said have a flash drive on hand and have a business card. Now, you said something that was interesting. You said 60% of people never ask for a raise. People don't understand when you're asking for a raise, you need to sell why you need a raise.
Absolutely.
And you're a sales guy, so talk to people about how they can do that.
Here's the best way to ask for a raise. First of all, stop going in there talking about, well, you know, I've been here for this long and I've done this and I'm going to get, and I dissolve my life. I had to fight. That does not help you. You sound like a whiner and a complainer. Here's what you do. You remind people of the value that you bring. Now, there are people who do one job and they do one job effectively. They can expect to ask for maybe a 3 to 5% increase. But if you're, you know, if you're the director of social media, if you're running the board, if you're doing mornings, if you're out, you know, handling a dance team, then maybe you can ask for a couple, you know, you can ask for a couple extra dollars beyond that. But you have to show how much money you've brought in versus what your salary is and what you think the market can bear. And you need to have some stats with you. We don't come with numbers. We come with emotion. This is not show feelings. This is show business. And when you're putting on the show, make sure the business is up front.
Okay. And if you get shot down, how do you then reapproach the conversation?
You say, okay, I understand that. I appreciate that. I understand that we're just a little bit apart, and I understand that that's not going to affect my work. And at that point, you start looking. Because if somebody doesn't value you, somebody else will.
Okay. Well, thank you, David Anderson.
Yes.
We really appreciate you.
Oh, thank Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy to have you back. Taz, which is how I met him, Taz Daddy actually ran the board when I first auditioned to be here on Power 99.
Absolutely.
So I feel like we've both come full circle. And Mother, you know Taz forever,
I know
right?
Taz for at least a good 15 years.
Absolutely.
And I am blessed to say you are a friend. I'm thankful that you are doing good with yourself. And I want to go to Twitter because the real LA tweeted, so happy I'm listening to Power 99 Philly right now. I needed all of this pure motivation and inspiration. So you never know who you are inspiring in the moment.
That's a blessing. Let me tell you something, man. In 6 months, I'm going to Osaka, Japan to help. To help business owners who just learned English as a second language work on their sales skills. But I want to help everybody here in the Philadelphia area. So if you go to ibrainuniversity.com/grind, I'm going to give you a seminar that's absolutely free. I charge $600 for the seminar, and it's how to fire your boss and quit your job in 6 months.
Wow.
So
repeat that again.
ibrainuniversity.com/grind.
All right, David Anderson right here from West Oakland.
Yes, sir.
#1 bestseller. Thank you for coming through, man. And
thank you so much.
Continued success to you. And man, we're just happy to have you back.
And
all
much
right?
love to your family.
Absolutely.
Hey, Janae. Hey, Devlin. Hey, Dory.
To
Love
the
you.
1-year-old, the 17-year-old, and the wife now.
Yes,
All right.
absolutely. Nothing but girls in my house.
Thank you for coming.